Hey everybody, it's the Nitty Professor. A lot of people talk about their New Year's resolutions, and one of them is often a yarn diet. And I understand the rationale behind exploring this issue of overconsumerism, which can also affect the yarn world. However, I still believe in buying yarn, and I think there are a lot of good reasons to do that. You may or may not agree with my reasons for resolving to buy more yarn in 2025. I would be interested to know your views in the comments so we can share and discuss, but I'm going to share with you right now my top 6 reasons for the reason why I plan to buy more yarn in 2025. So starting at the bottom with number 6, the least important reason, and that is that I do have projects in mind for which I don't have, hello Paris, all the colors. So I have my little exhibit A here, and one of my potential projects involves let Lopi yarn. So I got a few skeins like this. This one's kind of a mess, but I thrifted these. This one says $3.25, but I can guarantee you that I got it in Goodwill, and it was in a grab bag, a smorgasbord bag. So I have another olive skein, and let's see what else we have in the grab bucket. I have 3 skeins of this beautiful sort of aqua color, and these are 50 gram skeins, so I'm just not sure how far they're going to go, because my predilection lately has been to do the sort of Scandinavian type yoke sweaters. I could change it up and go back to more of a all-around colorwork sweater. I have 3 skeins of this, and I have 2 skeins of, again, very old Let Lopi yarn that I bought, I thrifted. So several of these I thrifted, and over the years, Paris, you're blocking the view, honey, come here. Over the years, since it's probably been 4 or 5 years since I acquired, especially this, the Reynolds. This has been around a long time. I have bought, I think I did buy these. I don't know what I was thinking, buying 3. I don't know. I was just like thinking I was going to do something different. But the problem is I don't have enough of any one color here to do the body of a sweater, the body and sleeves. Plus, I have 4 colors, which theoretically they could go together, right? You know me, I love color. So, but on the other hand, I might want to choose a charcoal gray to go with that, or I don't know, an indigo, or I'm not sure. That I'm a little bit, like if I did these 3 colors, I could see that, or if I did these 3, yeah. So anyhow, I'm probably gonna have to buy more Let Lopi at some point, maybe even online, once I get to this project, which I've been thinking about it for a long time. So that's one reason why I'm probably going to buy more yarn. Now, it might only be a few skeins. I don't know. It might be like 4 of one color or 5. I'm not sure. But that's my number 6 reason why I'm definitely planning to buy some more yarn. I have 2 or 3 projects like that. It's like the colors just don't quite line up. I'm going to have a little bit more. So the reason number 5, so moving up on the list, is I might decide I want to knit something for someone else. And if they don't like the colors that I have, I may have to, figure something out. Another thing is teaching knitting. So for example, this past fall, I was trying to give knitting lessons at the School for the Blind. And for example, we were struggling with a kind of a finer acrylic. It was like a DK acrylic, and the students were really having trouble just kind of wrapping their minds around what they were doing with the yarn. So I brought in this chunky weight yarn to try, but I'm just not sure. Like, I hope I can continue, hope that they will continue to be interested in trying. It's really hard to teach someone to knit who's never knit and who's never seen, and me having always been sighted. So I could see myself wanting to, maybe pick up some, maybe thrift some yarn or some acrylic yarn, or just something like just based on the ease with which they could learn the craft of knitting with that yarn. I think that's a good rationale for, getting something that's appropriate that I probably don't have on hand. So knitting for others, teaching knitting. I'm not sure what I'll get into. Maybe I might want to knit something for Paris. We'll see. So reason number 4 is travel. So one of the things, hey, you're kind of hurting me, cat. She's like attacking my arm. You're silly. One of the things I love to do when I travel is go to yarn stores. And kitty cat, you're kind of getting out of control. For example, when I was in Copenhagen, I went to many yarn stores, almost everyone that I could find, asking, could I videotape in your store for my YouTube channel? And the reaction I got to that was just so accommodating and enthusiastic. And I literally made, temporary friends in Copenhagen. I could go to the stores multiple times and they would like just recognize me. One store owner even gave me yarn. I mean, she was so sweet. They just thought that was the coolest thing and that I would want to come in there and help them advertise their store. So, and I remember when I was in Montreal last spring, I went to Les Garçons. They have a YouTube channel and they're very sweet men. And I got to chat with them and took my picture with them. And of course, I'm not going to walk out of there without buying something, So I bought several skeins of yarn and now I can look forward to knitting with that yarn and have the memory of the experience of where I got it and make it all the more meaningful. And whatever I make with that yarn, I'm going to enjoy because of all the memories associated. So for example, this wool I bought in Copenhagen last August, and I'll probably knit a hat with these 2 cute little skeins. Every time I feel this soft yarn in my hand, I'll be thrown back to the time that I was in Copenhagen and I went and I saw, really nice people and really nice stores. Same thing with this. I bought this. Look out. My yarn's falling. My cat's attacking me. This was from the Woolly Works knit shop in Albert, Colorado. And I remember that visit extremely well. Not just because it was a very nice visit. Look out, Paris. But because the woman who runs it is originally from Berlin. And so we got to speak some German, and it was funny because she hardly ever gets to speak German. So it was just a really memorable occasion. She's lived in the States for like 50 years. So not only did she sell me this yarn, but she dyed this yarn. And I wanted to support her. So I'm looking forward to, I got like 3 skeins of her hand-dyed yarn, which was originally yarn from brown sheep. And that's going to bring me soon to another reason why I do intend to purchase more yarn in 2025. Let's go to reason number 3. So we're moving right up there. So as you know, I'm writing novels that celebrate primarily knitting, but in a way they almost primarily celebrate crochet. So they involve not only, people's really private personal journeys as knitters and crocheters and crafters, but also a collective. So I start out with this whole yarn bombing idea, and I just kind of take it from there, and it turns into this big, huge community thing. And the scale of some of the crafting that I have going on there is really huge. And I have this character who's a professor of art, kind of like the swirling vortex around her. So I want to continue to learn crafts that I haven't tried yet. For example, I've been thinking, I was looking today at the schedule for the rec center classes. They have a felting class, and I'm not sure I'll be able to work it in. I've got a big workload coming up this spring, but at some point I will take felting from the person who gives that class over at Parks and Rec. But I took weaving last fall, but in the course of learning the weaving, which was just on your standard jack loom to make like a towel, this is great, I discovered that really what I want to try is tapestry weaving. And I have acquired a loom, and that's going to suck up some yarn. So tapestry weaving is a really great way to repurpose yarn. I have a pretty, my stash has a pretty good palette, so I think I'm off to a good start as far as having the tools that are available and needed to get started with that. But I could definitely see myself wanting to try maybe something in a different texture or different weights, more bulky, trying to strand and ply things together and just seeing what they do. Here's another craft that I want to try very badly. I haven't had a chance. I did do the weaving, so it's time for me to try another craft. So I bought this, I don't know who left it, but this is a leftover rug hooking effort that I found at Goodwill. No, kitty cat, she wants to bite it. It looks, I have hardly even explored this. I'm seeing on here, Paris, you're gonna have to get out of my way. That's obviously a bunnified human, or a humanized bunny. So we have a bunny head. Yeah, Paris. You're being an imp. Look out. Yeah, no, you're definitely in my way. I'm gonna unfold this here. I haven't even done this much. Oh, I think it's a maypole. It's a bunny at a maypole. So somebody, you know, obviously they didn't finish this, but just imagine, so if I finish this, I can learn a lot about rug hooking. But in one of the episodes of Fruity Knitting, she interviewed a very artistic rug hooker expert, and I looked her up, and her work, Paris, she's really getting on here. Her work is just amazing. You might, like, if you, here, let's just kind of move you. If you look up in YouTube, Fruity Knitting rug hooking, you'll probably figure out the video that I'm talking about. But this is kind of amazing. I mean, it's all printed on here, right? I have a couple of books about rug hooking, so I think I have what I need to learn it. But according to the Fruity Knitting episode I saw, you don't just have to use this kind of fabric strips. You can use any yarn that you want, any thickness, any texture, and make your own pictures. And I could see doing this. This could be a rug, right? This could be a wall hang, could be a pillow, could be lots of things. Could be, you know, could be a cat bed. I mean, the world's your oyster. Like, the sky's the limit. That's another craft that I'm really looking forward to trying. And when I get into it, the chances are that I'll be looking for more yarn that I can use to enjoy that craft. I mean, if you're an artist, you know, you're not going to ever stop buying paint. And I kind of like to think of my fiber efforts as, you know, we're not there yet. Even though some of you are very kind and you compliment me on being artistic. That's wonderful. I still follow patterns. I haven't gotten to the point where I'm making my own. But I would like to, kind of like with my jazz improv, to get to the point where I feel like I can improvise a rug hooking project, or, you know, intarsia knitting project, and just come up with whatever. And if I need to buy more yarn to make my vision happen, I'm going to do that. So that is reason number 3. Reason number 2, getting really close to the top here. Reason number 2 is to support yarn stores, to support the dyers, and to support the producers, the people who raise the sheep, especially to the extent that I can do so locally. So for me, buying local, obviously it includes, you know, I have a friend who owns a little yarn store in the next town over. So I do try to purchase stuff from her. I have a friend who makes fiber. She has her own industrial carding machine. She grows her own sheep, and I try to support her, you know. I think what they do is awesome, and I'd much rather buy a little too much yarn and support my friend than I would, you know, buy a few too many pairs of Nikes to support strangers in Vietnam who are probably getting underpaid. So yeah, supporting yarn stores, producers, buyers, just for a couple of examples. I bought this yarn from the Warmth, a yarn studio, which is in Omaha, where my daughter lives. I bought this yarn from the same person. And again, you know, I videotaped her. She was very kind, and I wasn't going to leave the store without buying something. So of course I want to support her. You know, I bought these. I bought a skein of white. I thought I'll knit something Christmassy from this. It's a really nice rustic yarn, and she carries beautiful products, and I like to support the products that she brings in because she's very, like, environmentally conscious, and tries to use things that are natural, and, you know, supporting, for example, rare breeds of sheep and this kind of thing. So I think if we, like, think in terms of buying conscientiously, you know, like, I'm gonna buy a special yarn for the blind students based on what their needs are, or I'm gonna buy a product that supports a rare sheep breed because I like diversity, etc. We can use our consumer power to support our values. So reason number 1 is very hedonistic. The top reason why I fully intend to buy more yarn in 2025 is probably, some of you might think it's a bad one, but for me, it's a psychologically necessary one, and that is enjoyment in a stressful world. Today on the news, for example, it's all over the news, the fires in Los Angeles. It's just shocking. I mean, it's catastrophic, and you can't, like, not look, you know. But there, you know, tornadoes a week ago. You can't just ignore terrible things that are going on in the world. There are a lot of stressful things happening in the world, but we can't dwell on those things either. And I think our hobbies, specifically knitting, or maybe it's crochet or yarn buying, can help us psychologically to maintain an even keel and to not drown in our trauma, our fears, our sorrows. I think it's really important to, and of all the hobbies you could pick to be a consumer, I watch hoarders a lot, right? So you see people who will go on HSN, or maybe they did. I don't even know if HSN is still a thing, but they want that box coming to their front door. They want the box. Then they open it, and then you get the little endorphin push, and then it's all over. So I think as knitters, arguably, we have the opportunity to support people who are making products that are meaningful. They allow us to do wonderful things with our hands and to share in community. Rock Day is this weekend, so I can't wait to spin with my friends, to share in community, to use the fiber that I have accumulated and collected for the purpose of engaging in that craft with other people. So I think of all the buying we could do, yarn is probably one of the least toxic. Obviously, there are good choices and bad choices to make, but this is something I bought, and this again goes back to supporting a local producer. I was in the local flea market. There's some anonymous woman there. I keep trying to figure out who she is. If you're watching and you know who you are and you made this yarn, I want to meet you, because she's got to be here in the county. And so when I buy this yarn at the flea market, I'm supporting the local flea market, and I'm supporting a local producer, but I'm also making myself happy because this is to die for. This is hand spun wool combination mohair. I have no idea what I'm going to make, but I'm going to make something, and it's going to be awesome. And who knows, I may need to buy another skein of something to go with it. I'll probably go back to the flea market and see what she puts on the shelf again, because I'm glad she's there. I'm glad I can support her, and I'm glad that she can feed my hobby with something so beautiful. Other examples of these are a combination. These are things that remind me of places where I traveled, but they are also beautiful in and of themselves. I have no problem with claiming that, at least in this very hedonistic moment, I like holding this yarn. I like indulging in this yarn, looking at this yarn, and even smelling it. It makes me happy, and we need to be happy. We deserve to treat ourselves, not to go crazy, not to wreck the world in the process of treating ourselves, but to do something for ourselves that reminds us, as L'Oreal would say, and I watch a lot of Annie McDowell, so we're worth it. We're human beings, we're worth it. In fact, this is a big theme in the chapter I just finished. The whole idea of worthiness, that we deserve to be here, we deserve to have a good life, we deserve to have pleasant experiences, and to the extent that we can afford it, even if it's just, go to Goodwill, see what they have on offer, buying yarn, it's a good thing. And I can say that too because I just finished watching the Martha Stewart documentary on Netflix. So we'll end on that note. Buying yarn is a good thing, can be a good thing, should be a good thing. We can make it a good thing, and I intend to make it a good thing in 2025. Y'all take care. Bye.